Well, welcome everybody. It is, let's see, Wednesday morning. What's today, the 20th? Something like that. Anyway, welcome to this week's agent broker training. We are going to continue our training on leads and lead generation. Before I get started though, I want to see how many of you have already implemented what we've talked about. We've gone through 23 leads and lead generation opportunities. So one of the things that I think is going to be important for you to think about is how you, implement those from now to the end of the year so that you can hit 2020 rolling. Do not forget that. These are great opportunities. These are what we'll cover every successful lead gen scenario between now and the end of the month. From the beginning of the month to the end of the month. That is really going to make your 2020, or has the potential to make your 2020 the best year for you in real estate. You just have to implement it. That's it. You just have to implement it. And if you need help, reach out. We are here. So let's continue. I need to get my screen right so that we can do 11 through, you know what? I think I can cut a shortcut here. Hold on. Report, document 1. Let's see. Let me see if I can build a shortcut here. Yeah. Boom. I think I got it. And what I decided to do is continue from the 23rd. So I will go number 24. And this is, we're going to get right into it here. So this is, hold on, I got to share my screen, John. Geez. Boom. Boom. Got it. Perfect. Number 24. You guys should all be able to see my screen here. See, I'm leaving off from number 11. 12 to 24. This is number 24. And this is referrals from other agents, brokers. How many times have you thought about a couple things? Number one, marketing to another real estate agent or broker. That very rarely happens, especially when you might have some relationships in some other areas that are agent brokers right now. Here at Anton, because we're not a franchise house or store, if you will, we don't have other Anton offices around the country. However, we do have, Anton offices in Illinois, Indiana, Florida, and we will be going into some other states. We've already had a couple of referrals from Illinois to Florida. So that was something that, a couple of agents, took it upon themselves to do. But think about other agents. Even if you've got a scenario where the location is not too far from where you are. Let me explain. You might have a referral to somebody you're in Illinois suburbs, and you've got a referral to somebody in Chicago, or vice versa. Don't be afraid to market yourselves to other real estate agents and brokers, because I think referrals work really well as well. Not only does referrals work with regard to other geographic locations, but referrals work in different types of real estate representation, such as you might have somebody that wants a commercial property and you're not really good at that. You can refer that to a commercial guy that if it's not myself or someone in the office here, and you get a referral on that. Perfectly legal. Let's talk about how referrals work. Let's say that I have, here, let me do this. So not only geographic, see, I forgot to put this down on a couple of these, but skill set, i.e. residential to commercial, etc. But you can get a commission on that, a referral commission. Let me explain how these work. Let's say that I refer you as the client over to Bob, right? I refer you as the client over to Bob, and Bob's the real estate agent that is going to represent them. As a referral fee, I can get paid legally by referring them, even, by the way, if it's in another state or another even country. We have an agreement through the National Association of Realtors with Canada and other places like Puerto Rico as well. And that's not really another country, that's a territory, but you know what I mean. So you can, don't be afraid, you can get referrals for these things. And typically how this works, let's say it's a $200,000 house and the buy side of the commission is 3%, that's $6,000. Typically, I would get paid a referral fee of 25% of the side commission. So in this case, it would be $6,000, and 25% of $6,000 would be $1,500. So not a bad bit of work for not actually doing that. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool. I think referrals are pretty cool. A lot of people don't think about those, but I think, you know, that is another opportunity for you guys to look at some things and kind of promote your business in that way. Number 25, this is another paid one. You know, we do paid and non-paid. We've been going through that. Of course, the referrals would be a non-paid one, perhaps, but the next one is a paid one, and this is where you're buying exclusive leads from a company called Market Leader. I don't have anything to do with Market Leader, but a lot of these things, and we've talked about these leads before, a lot of these leads come from different sources. Like many of you know that we work with OpCity, and those leads primarily come from Realtor.com. So when a client or a customer is looking on Realtor.com, they're interested in the property, they call the number, it goes to OpCity, and OpCity distributes those leads with their system. Same idea, but maybe a little bit different mechanism to get the leads to you. Market Leader owns something called housevalues.com, where potential sellers check to see how much their house is worth. Leads from this site are exclusive and therefore extremely sought after and sold out in many zip codes. So you own a zip code for that. Market Leader also generates buyer leads. Check to see if Market Leader has leads in your specific zip codes that you're working. I like that because of a couple of things. Number one, if you go, by the way, if you go to, man, I don't have my sponsor coffee yet, by the way. That's coming. Speaking of sponsor coffee, it's right here. Sponsor coffee. Right here. Sponsor coffee. This webinar is not sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts, but it plays a major part. Wouldn't you say?
Plays a major part to survival.
Yeah. Heather Ann, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Sure.
Just everybody on the, yeah. That's my sponsor.
Hi, y'all.
That's my sponsor coffee person, get her. She's the managing broker for Indiana as well, but her real job is at
Coffee
Dunkin'.
getter.
Okay. So can you close that door? Buy exclusive leads from Market Leader. This is something that we're going to review here on some of the zip codes that we have, because I think it would be a good way to bring in more leads. So you have a couple going. You have OpCity and you've got Market Leader. Those are two. OpCity comes from Realtor.com. Market Leader comes from housevalues.com. Just got to tell one person here. Okay, had to send out a. Okay, so I had to send one thing there. So marketleader.com, you're going to pay for a zip code. Those people are going to go to housevalues.com. Once they get in there, then they're going to send that right to you. So pretty cool stuff. Number 26, you guys ready for this? Let me kind of go through my notes here. This one is a little bit interesting that I think that you guys are going to be able to use. And I'm going to explain it here in a second. So check this out. Start building a referral system early. Let me explain what I mean by this. These are my notes here on this. In real estate, because this is part of a bigger picture for me. In real estate, a great referral system is started early, not after the sale. Now, the key word there is not after the sale. So you want to make sure that you're well aware of that. The odds are that you will meet with sellers and discuss the measures of success are in their sale. This is a terrific time to set the scene early by explaining how vital referrals are to your business in real estate in general, as they may even be a referrer themselves. These touch points and conversations are opportunities to guide a referral. I have seen real estate agents generate 1 or 2 referred leads per client using a simple system like this. And in that, you're out of here?
Not yet.
Okay. In that is some gold right there. That is not going to cost you anything, but it's how you're talking to people. It's how you're using and carrying on your business. The moment you get a lead, the moment you start talking to someone about listing a house, about representing them as a buyer, start the conversation of, you know, hey, do you have anybody else that you know or in your network that's also looking? I can do a search. You know, sometimes, if this is crazy, I know this is crazy, but sometimes people want to move by each other, and they'll do anything they can. Friends would move with friends, or watch this. If somebody's looking to buy a new house, what are they moving from? Are they moving from something that you can either represent yourself or refer to somebody else? You see how that works? So make sure, this is a really good one. When I was thinking about this, I thought, you know, I just wonder how many people actually do this. They get so caught up in the actual sale of itself, they're not thinking about what they can carry on further with their business. Are they moving from anything that you can represent or refer? Are they, do they have a relative that's moving with them? In other words, they might be moving to a bigger house simply because they have a mother-in-law or father-in-law or mom and dad or grandparents or whatever it is that would move in with them, and then that person would have something to sell. Or they have friends that want to move, that type of thing. So do not be afraid to start building that referral system early in the conversation, early in the situation. Okay, number 27, track email subscriber. This is a good one. I don't know if you guys are using I don't know if you guys are using a CRM system. You should be. I get that question all the time. You know, are you using one that is a like MailChimp? Are you using one that's tied to, you know, a bigger platform? I don't know. But think about the idea of how you can track the behavior of an email subscriber, okay? To gauge, I need to finish this. Okay. To gauge if a lead is cold, lukewarm, or hot, you have to spend time understanding where they are in the buying process. This is going to be really, really important. One way to do this is through email marketing, of course. You guys all know that. But one of the things that you need to do, not have to do or not would want to do, but you're going to need to do this. If you're going to be tracking your emails in any type of way, you should be tracking how the subscriber behaves, when they open, how they open, what emails are open best, at what time, what day, things like that. Really just start to keep that in mind. Any good CRM, any good email program like a MailChimp, like Constant Contact, has all these stats that you can tie into with that. So again, open rates, click-through rates, and the types of featured properties that they're going to maybe be exploring if you're marketing that. How they respond to your emails can really show you where they are in the buying process and how serious they are about purchasing a property. To do this lead generation technique, you really have to be consistent with your email marketing. Consistent. That's probably one of the best things that I can tell you to implement for lead gen. See, this is another, well, this isn't totally free. I guess you're going to sign up for an email marketing system or a CRM and how those things work together. And that may cost you, 10, 20, 30 bucks a month, or maybe more, depending on how detailed that you want to get. But pretty much this is the activity that you and or your assistant or teammates or your spouse or significant other, however you guys are running your business, this is really where you should focus. This is the actual work, physical work that someone should be doing every single day. These and things like expired listings and all this activity that is really more technician in nature rather than entrepreneurial needs to be handled by somebody. And so you will get a lot out of this, but you got to track those. Number 28, choose your niche and master it. What does that actually mean? Well, one of the ways that you can consistently get leads in this business is if you're niche specific, commercial, or residential new builds, or you're residentially, but you're working with investors. See, those are all niches there. And that word spreads pretty fast because the definition of a niche is a specific space or specific type of real estate. And because it's specific, when those come up, you're going to be the first name that people think about. So one of the best ways to generate leads is to choose a specific niche in the real estate market and focus only on it. While you cannot be the best agent in all possible locations in your state for all property types, you can select an area and master it, or a type of real estate and master it. In this way, you'll gain a reputation quickly as the top performing agent in this field, and leads will start coming to you on their own. This is a way that you are going to get leads that are they don't cost much, or maybe don't cost anything at all. Again, I see the leading brokers and agents in the country, and I see what they do. And the ones that are really busy with ongoing business are the ones that have leads coming in all the time. And this is another way that you can put something in where it doesn't cost you a lot, but at the same time, it is a consistent way. To do that, though, you have to be niche specific. And sometimes that's hard for agents to do because they're trying to get their business off the ground. If you need any help with any of this stuff, please call me, email me, text me, tackle me, whatever. I will help you. Come to the office here and I will help you, whether it's Florida, Illinois, Indiana, or wherever Anton is going next. I'm an open book. My job is to help you get better training wise, and also to help you build your business. Number 29, you're going to use a variety of lead gen strategies. We've been talking about this all throughout this series. Use a variety of lead gen strategies. Hold on, let me redo that. Look at this, gen strategies. And so what does that mean? I used to, back in, what year was this? I sold a ton of duplexes. That must have been, well, that was about 10 years ago. I sold a ton of duplexes. That was kind of like my niche for a while. And some were actually my real estate investments, some were others. But, you know, that was our niche. So I would use Craigslist and Zillow for renters currently looking for new tenants, and, or vice versa, I'm sorry, to see if they would like to sell. So when someone would put a message on Craigslist, this is a way that people would find renters, Craigslist and Zillow. And so they're telling you, hey, I've got a need for a tenant. I might not like the headache of property management. So, you know, I check them out to see if they would want to sell. We use software here in the office. By the way, if you want help with that, I can help you with that as well. But finding tenants could possibly mean that they don't want to do property management. So I can help you with that. We've got software here in the office that you can find evictions or tenants or things like that in your area. So don't be afraid to do that. Additionally, I contacted local municipalities for owner lists of multifamily units and call them. A lot of municipalities now are taxing apartment owners and rentals. And this is a way that the municipality gets revenue in, but it's also a way, because it's Freedom of Information list, you can get a copy of that and market to all of the investors of real estate. Again, this could be your niche, but this is another way that you could, you know, kind of tie into having another lead source, and it's outside of what the traditional lead gen is. This is kind of a different type of hustle. Direct referral from other agents are usually very good too, because they are motivated sellers and buyers. I ask probing questions to determine if they met with a lender and encourage them to come into the office to formalize the relationship. Watch this. I text and or call serious buyers weekly. So this is how, another example of how, you know, our business is changing, but it's the aggressive front of tracking down these buyers and sellers. I think when Heather first got in the business, she's not here now, so she dropped off my Dunkin' Donuts and left. But I think when she first got in the business, she would get a buyer on the line or a seller on the line, and I'm like, hey, did you follow up with them? Did you send a text to them? Did you call them? Did you you need me? Okay. Did you call them? Did you text them? Did you you know, follow back up with them? You have to be relentless in that case for a lead gen scenario, or it won't work. So make sure that you are relentless in tracking down these different and variety of lead gen sources. If you have an assistant in the office or somebody's working with you to help you with your business, make sure that they're keeping track of all these different ways. And this should be actual specific activity that's going on during the week that is happening. Maybe not, you're not actually doing this, but your assistant or somebody that's helping you with your business. Number 30, this is a cool one. Use high quality. You're gonna see this one and go, what? To attract clients. What do I mean by that? High quality. That means this. We use a guy here, at least in the Northwest Indiana office, that is a photo drone user, and he's hot, man. This guy's great. He has such professional photos. And I tell everybody, whether you've got a starter home or you've got a, you know, couple $1 million mansion that you're selling, use HighRes Photos. Use the photos. Use drone work. It will separate you from anybody else that does not, by far. The moment you look at a HighRes photo as a listing, or someone that's looking for to buy a house or to sell a house, they're going to notice that you take the time to do that. The photography is relatively inexpensive to the cost of the sale. It's relatively inexpensive. And if you use a great guy like we use, his name's Nick, he's attentive, he's great. It will help sell that property a HighRes Photo. Watch this. In 2013, watch this now. In 2013, 83% of home buyers searched the internet when looking to purchase a home. 4 years later in 2017, the percentage of home buyers who searched the internet when looking for a home jumped to 92%, from 83 to 92. Consumers are becoming competent with more devices. Boom. Such as laptops and smartphones. These consumers are home buyers, and they want to shop online. 92%, and that's in 2020, it's probably closer to 100% than it was back in 2017. So make sure that you are using HighRes photos to work your business. I mean, it's really, really important that you do that. Just to finish that segment out, this trend is showing us that they recognize how useful technology is, and therefore they are going to be better at noticing professional real estate photography as they oppose to point and shoot or smartphone photographs. This is an iPhone 11. The camera on it is fantastic, but I'm not a professional photographer. Let these guys really do the work that they need to be doing. And I think you're going to notice that, and it's a way that you can attract other lead sources. Okay, let's see where we're at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we've got 4 more. We're running a little bit short on time here to get to the bottom of the hour, but let's see if we can buzz through this. Number 31, work probate leads. Work probate leads. I've got software in my office that can help you with this. What is probate? Probate is a legal situation that when someone passes away, the courts come in and decide where those assets go that are owned by that person that passed away. So whether you have a will or not, probate is a situation where you want to be in touch with these attorneys. I've got software here, okay, in the office that if you said, John, I'm in Orlando, or I'm in Fort Lauderdale, or I'm in Chicago, and I want to know the prospects of probate leads in my market, can you send them to me? Boom, yes, I can send them to you, and then you can start to work those leads. But you want to make sure that you're marketing to sometimes even the probate attorneys, because that's where I think you're going to get a lot of traction with that. Make sure that attorney knows who you are, your skill set, drop off a brochure for yourself, that type of thing. So work probate leads. Not a lot of agents work probate leads, and I think it's a really good way to do that. Number 32. It's what we're doing right here in the studio. Start a podcast. What does that mean? Start a podcast. Start a podcast. We are really, this is actually the studio. Sometimes I'm in the conference room doing these trainings. Sometimes I'm here in the studio. And so we're going to be renovating the studio here a little bit to really start our video podcast, where we're going to be putting in some cameras, and you can't see it, but we're going to be doing some other changes here to make this look a little bit more like a set, right? The studio is going to look more like a set. And the reason that I think starting a podcast is important is the duality of this. People can watch it on video. This can go on YouTube, which we do a lot of YouTube if you've been to that channel, but also can be an audio source where people can just listen to podcasts in their vehicle while they're running, while they're traveling on an airplane, whatever. So it's its utility is very high. Podcasting is the most powerful thing that I've done to grow my audience in a deep, meaningful way. And they're fairly easy to do. Podcasts are not equal to an article, an Instagram story, or a Facebook post. They're much more powerful. The stats show that most regular listeners listen to the entire episode. Real estate agents and mortgage loan officers should podcast once per week about what's new in their community. You have to be the community expert there. What's new in the community, which new businesses are opening up, you could just do a podcast on that as a real estate agent, and that would be pretty cool. Which events are happening and so on. As long as you keep it interesting and not about real estate, no market updates, you'll not only keep local listeners coming back each week for more, but you'll position yourself as the go-to local expert in your market. In time and with effective promotion of your show, you'll even become a local celebrity. Who knows? That's kind of my wife now. So my wife does this. We're going to be doing this more in 2020. But as you know, for most of you know this, I've written books and I've spoke, all over the world, and I'm not bragging. That's just what I did. And when Heather and I first got together, they would tell Heather, go, "Oh, you're John's wife. You're John's wife." Well, my wife's videos and her doing this leading into her podcast have become so popular here locally that when we go out, people will come up to us now and they'll say to me, "Oh, you're Heather's husband." So I've got to laugh at that a little bit because it's a great way to get your name out there, but also elevate yourself as to the local market expert. The local market expert. Really, really important that you do that. Plus, they're fun. I love to talk and I love to have guests on. But note the key thing that they said in that little segment there. The key thing was this. Don't talk about real estate stats. That's boring as hell. Don't talk about, how many houses you sold. Talk about the market that you're working within, the new restaurants that are coming in place, the businesses. This is what we call selling at 90 degrees. So January is going to be, our themed month is going to be sales, 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 sales. Like this month is lead gen, January is sales. So one of the things that we're going to talk about in sales is how you're going to sell at 90 degrees, not at 0 degrees, at 90 degrees. If you don't know what that is, stay tuned, stay with us. You will know this. You will be a sales machine by the time we get done with you. That is for sure. So start a podcast, really, really fun. We are going to stop it there. We are at the bottom of the hour, and what we're going to do is continue with these leads next week. I am going to keep it on this list here. We'll keep it going, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. Again, just like we did start to talk about at the top of the hour, are you implementing these? Are you implementing these? These are the things that are going to get you to a better 2020 as a real estate agent broker. These are the things. So make sure that you're doing that. We are at the bottom of the hour. Just an announcement. We will probably not have training next week, the week of Thanksgiving, because there's too many family things that you guys have to do. And we will continue the week afterwards, and that will be a double dose of lead gen stuff, a double dose of lead gen stuff. So be ready for it. Be ready for it. That's it. Okay. Remember, wealth has nothing to do with money. Success has everything to do with failure, and life is as simple as you make it. Thanks a lot, guys. We will talk to everybody very soon, and all of you have a great week. We will see you next week or the week after. Happy Thanksgiving.